Former Fox News anchor Gretchen Carlson is considered to have been the woman who reawakened the movement to stop sexual harassment in the workplace when she came forward with allegations against her former boss, the late Roger Ailes, at the time the all-powerful CEO of Fox News. She has since become a voice of empowerment for victims of harassment, the subject of her new book, Be Fierce and Take Your Power Back. My colleague Jack Ford recently had a chance to talk to Carlson, and he began the conversation by asking her if she ever imagined she'd become the face of this powerful movement.
Never. I mean, every day really has been a surreal experience for me because when I made that biggest decision in my life on July 6, 2016, I had no idea what was going to be in front of me. And so every day has been something new. And I have to say, even listening to your introduction there, it's like, wow, I mean, sometimes it feels like an out-of-body experience. Is that me that they're talking about?
Oftentimes in our lives, we've found ourselves thrust into a position that we never anticipated. And we can either embrace it or we can reject it. You've chosen to embrace it. Why?
Right. I mean, I get asked that a lot. Like, why didn't you just, go home and concentrate on being mom to your two kids? And while I still love doing that, I've always approached challenges with a mission, like I need to make sure I put all my effort into it. And it was mainly all the women who started reaching out to me. And all of their stories were such a cross-section of so many different professions. This issue is really pervasive, from waitresses to flight attendants, to lawyers, to journalists, to Wall Street bankers, to teachers, to oil rig operators. It's everywhere. And I felt a sense of duty to be a voice for them, because in so many cases, they had never even told their husbands their own personal stories. And I felt this sense of duty to try and make a difference, to put this issue out in the forefront, to have a conversation about it, because women are so fearful to do that.
I was struck by, in reading through this, the vast array of professions. And you mentioned you've heard from so many people. I think on the surface, oftentimes we think, well, there are certain professions that have been labeled in all the worst senses of the term, boys' clubs types of thing, where there have been stories for decades about just inappropriate, much more than boorish, but harmful and destructive treatment of women. Why do you think it's such an expanse of professions, that it's not limited just to the few that people would suspect?
Because I think that cultural shifts take time to change. I mean, if we look at race relations in our country, it's not something that you just switch on a light and it's suddenly fixed. It's very similar in nature. But what I've uncovered in my research for Be Fierce is that women seem to be sort of the last group that it's still okay to maybe make fun of or, to make jokes about. We wouldn't do that with other groups of people. So,
Why do you think that is?
I don't know if there's
an answer, but I'm just curious to hear your
it's what I've discovered now, and it's actually changed the way in which I speak to my children at home, because I'll say to myself, like, wow, I probably shouldn't say, hey, guys, to my daughter. My daughter actually brought it up to me. She's 14. She said, why do you call me a guy? And I'm like, I call everyone a guy. Now, maybe that's a small little thing, but to answer your question about why it's so pervasive, I think it's going to take an entire cultural shift, and that's what me doing what I did, and that's why this book is starting this national dialogue. We need to talk about it if we have any hope of fixing it.
I was curious about an observation that people would probably generally think, okay, well, the HR department, the Human Resources, is they're my friend, they're my ally. But that's not always the case. Why do you think?
I think there's great people that work in human resources departments, and they are the place where you go to, in many cases, to file these kinds of complaints. But in my book, I also advocate for maybe a new approach, where we might have an ombudsman in companies that you could go to that really would be impartial and not receiving a paycheck directly, from the company where this activity may be going on. Also, I'd like to see change in the way in which we're doing sexual harassment training within companies and really put more effort on the bystander approach. How do we empower the people who actually witness this behavior to not fall into the category of being an enabler, but fall into the category of being also the courageous bystander who defends the person that it's happening to? I mean, if we could just do those two little tweaks, I think that we would have tremendous, tremendous success in trying to stop this problem.
Last question for you. Having gone through what you went through and doing what you're doing now, are you optimistic? Have you seen any significant progress, or might there be some significant progress on the horizon, do you think?
So I am a really optimistic person. My life motto is carpe diem. So I do seize every day and every opportunity. It's one of the reasons I set up my fund after my story broke called Gift of Courage, where I financially empower organizations to empower women and girls. And I'm proud to announce the Gretchen Carlson Leadership Initiative, which is a 9-city tour kicking off this November to help underserved women. So yes, I'm optimistic because I'm about trying to make a difference for all of the women who reached out to me and all of the women and men who want to feel empowered in any aspect of their life where they might be being put down. This book isn't just about sexual harassment. It's about bullying in school. It's about not being paid fairly. It's about not getting the promotion you might deserve. So it's really about finding that courage inside your soul to step up, to stand up, and to speak up.
I saw that you had dedicated this book to your children.
Yes.
And I'm sure if they don't already know, there'll be a time when they'll sit back and they'll look at this and say, you know what, Mom was a champion.
I really appreciate that because I have to tell you that they were the most important factor in making the biggest decision of my life. And I'm proud to say 15 months later that my children have learned what it means to be brave.
Well, we learn through examples, and you are certainly the example for your children. Gretchen, it's a delight talking with you. You be well.
Thank you so much.
Take care.